Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's me again. My name is Wakab, and you should already know that by now, I guess. Anyway, going on to our second director's commentary. Episode 19. Once again, we're going in chronological order, so not in order of most votes or anything. UFP 19, the David Bowie drinking game. So there's a interesting backstory behind this. I really like David Bowie, and that's the whole backstory. So we're just going to get straight into this episode. No faffing about. Let's go. Loading it up right now.
Ultra Fast Pony presents
Good old
the
Phil.
David Bowie drinking game. Every time you hear
That's the only time I've done an intro like that.
or a reference to one of David
By the
Bowie's
way, do not
songs,
play this
take
game.
a
This
drink.
game was made deliberately to
Now,
kill people,
let's
so
all
don't do
get
it.
Drunk. Oh yeah.
Bowie, Bowie,
Phil.
Bowie, 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 Bowie.
Yeah,
Bowie,
so don't
Bowie,
play the
Bowie,
game.
Bowie, Bowie.
I'm not even kidding. Oh dear. Yeah, really,
Why are we
don't
out
play.
here digging for gems anyway? They're the final piece I need for a machine I'm building for my private for a machine I'm building.
What
Ooh.
kind of machine?
You ever heard the saying, don't
Yeah.
ask, don't tell?
No.
UFP gets
well,
a
good
lot
news, now
more
you
subtle
have.
later
And
on.
what do
That
I
was
get
not
out
very
of all
subtle.
of this?
I thought you were a slave or something.
I prefer the term enforced volunteer.
I like
whatever.
that term.
Tell you what, Spike, you can have one gem.
Really? A whole one gem?
Yeah, pretty generous of me, I know.
Well, at
Oh,
least it's better
element
than
of
what I get
generosity
from
foreshadowing.
Twilight.
That dragon's pretty good at getting the gems, isn't he?
I do believe he is, and
I'll
hold
try
on
to
there, lads.
name all the
I've
references.
discovered a star.
See, that's a
Ready,
reference.
set,
I've
go.
discovered a
Who
star.
are these freaks?
They call them the Diamond Dogs.
That's an
And
obvious
we'll be
one.
taking
That's the
that
Diamond Dogs
pretty thing
reference.
back to the
I mean,
subterraneans with
they
us.
Oh,
the
no,
canon
they've
episode
come
had the
to
reference
capture me.
before me. I
Run,
just
Spike.
went
Why
with
don't
it
we
because
just
I love
both leave
David
together?
Bowie and I'm
No,
missing.
Spike, you go on ahead. I will let them take me down to their chambers to be tortured. Tell the others to
Yeah, she
rescue
didn't try to
me in
run
about
very hard. She tried to
6
talk
hours.
herself out of it,
6
sure.
6 hours is good for you.
I feel like
Tell
running
them to rescue
really
me in
fast the
6
other way.
hours.
I don't
Might
think
not
I
have worked, but
understand
it
what's
could have
going
been.
on here.
Could have
I'll
done
explain
something.
when you're older.
I'm 67.
I'll explain tonight. Goodbye,
Don't know why
Spike.
it made him
So
67.
what
I just
exactly happened here
I don't
again?
think
Well,
much
Master,
about it.
Me and Rarity were
It's
out hunting for
67,
gems,
that's a number,
but she
that's
was
how old he
taken
is
by
now.
Scary monsters and super creeps.
Oh,
That's a good
Spike.
song.
It's scary monsters and nice sprites.
That's a Skrillex song.
What?
The
What
dubstep
the
guy.
heck is
You
wrong
remember
with you,
dubstep,
Twilight?
that
You
music genre that
idiot.
came and
You
then
idiot
died?
brew.
What? How could you say that? Don't you know?
I mean,
anything
I
about
don't mind
music?
dubstep. I like
What did I say
dubstep,
wrong?
but it didn't
Don't
last
you know
very long, did
anything
it?
about musical history? Brew, are you
History.
straight up stupid or something?
I prefer the blues. Now it's asking you, Fluttershy.
I don't get it. That's the name of the song by Skrillex. Who the heck is Squirrel-X? It's
Squirrel
David
Axe is a
Bowie.
much
We're
better
talking
name.
about David
I'd
Bowie.
listen to a band called
Just don't get it.
Squirrel
I just
X.
don't get it. Stop yelling at me.
Who
Oh,
are
everything
you?
went crazy
and
there.
Don't say Ziggy Stardust or I'll be pissed.
Yeah, I didn't want to make too obvious of a reference, though it technically still
And
was a
I'm
reference
also
since I said
David
it.
Bowie.
And I'm David Bowie, and together we are
The three David Bowies. Oh, you have
There are
gotta be
multiple
kidding me.
ways to do
And
David
now
Bowie.
get ready to start a new career in a new town.
That's a
No,
reference.
You're going to
Good
tie
song,
me
too.
down and whip me, aren't you? Well, do your worst, please.
What? No, we're not going
That
to
was
do
better.
that.
That
Why
was
would
a
you
better
think we would do
masochistic
that to
joke.
you?
I like
Do
that one
ponies
better.
do that to each other up there?
Yes. Yes, they do. Well, too bad for you, China girl.
Ah,
We just
there's
want
another
you to
obvious
mine
one.
gems for us. I'm not doing that.
Quit whining and get to work.
Or
Now we're
whining,
using
that was
jokes
nothing.
from
Do
the
you wanna
actual
see real
episode.
whining?
Of course.
My
not.
jokes
Why
aren't
would we
very
want to
good,
see
so I
that?
wanted to
I'm
steal
gonna
some.
whine.
No, don't whine.
I'm gonna do it.
Damn it, girl, if you whine, I would be forced to hurt you.
Oh, David Bowie's an old has-been.
No, he's not.
Nirvana did it better. Glass
No, they didn't. Although they did it great.
Spider.
Don't ever mention that concert ever again.
Make me.
Quickly, my Bewley brothers.
Glass
We have
Spider
much
was a
to
very
discuss.
overproduced
What are we going to
concert.
do? We've got no control.
See it for
you
yourself,
pretty thing.
if you want. I
Don't you
mean,
know you're driving your mamas and papas insane? We're
Ah,
just
that's
going
a
to
great
have to
one.
pull through if we want those gems.
you.
Ashes to ashes.
This is just David Bowie.
Gotta get me out of here.
I hope you weren't
Can I
expecting
go
anything
now?
amazing here. It's
Getting
just
bored
it's
and
just
I think
David
I'm
Bowie the
catching
whole way
salmonella.
through.
I'm afraid not. You've still got many gems to
Catch
find
salmonella.
I'll start whining again. I'll bring up Never Let Me Down. Don't think I won't do it.
Scream
That's
like
the
a
Glass
baby,
Spider
or you
album.
won't. Just bring
should
in
have
the
used
prettiest
Tonight
style
There,
while you do
or
You're
his
really
very
starting to
first
stretch
album,
for
which a
these
lot of people don't know
references
about,
now,
which is
aren't you?
actually
Shut up, Lingus
incredibly
Stardust.
terrible.
Space
Pre-Space
Odyssey,
Oddity.
P2 Schneider.
No, I
Pre-Space
can't
Oddity,
take
there's
any
an
more of
album,
these
do
stupid
not listen
references.
to it,
Let
it's
me
so
go
bad.
now.
Absolutely not. You've still got a lot of work to do. Smack, baby, smack.
Did you
Show
just...
me you're real. Cracked Actor.
Um,
Great song. One of my favorites, actually. One of my, probably, maybe even
okay,
top
I get
3
the feeling
songs of
you're a
David
bit
Bowie.
upset. Now let's just all calm down for a second.
My bum?
All the madmen could not prepare me for this. Me, David Bowie.
Here, I'm about to show you how hitting someone on the bum is
That's
really
my favourite
supposed
David
to go.
Bowie. Yeah.
And that's where the term gold digger came from.
I don't
I-
understand that either.
I don't
said I'd
either,
explain
Spike. That
tonight,
joke doesn't
Spike.
make
Wow,
sense there.
Rarity? And you're really not upset that the Diamond Dogs kidnapped you?
Well, look back in anger, I say.
That's another
Oh,
great song from
Rarity,
Lodger.
It's don't
Lodger,
look
I
back
think, is
in
the best of the
anger.
Berlin
Twilight,
trilogy,
you
my
don't know who
personal
David Bowie
favorite
is,
album.
do you?
Yeah, I've had no idea what's going on this episode.
Did you still drink
Yeah,
anyway?
that's when I realized not
Yeah,
everyone will
good
like
enough.
David Bowie as much as me. And then a non-David Bowie thing, but it suited the episode, so I used it. She's basically Snow White. That's Snow White. Yeah, that is Snow White. I think that reference suited it. So yeah, that was the David Bowie drinking game. I didn't tell you what all the references were. They were flying past, man. I think someone did a count of them as like 70. I don't know. I think I did it. Yeah, sounds about right. If you include all the times I say David Bowie and then the references to his songs. So yeah, about 70 shots in a 5-minute period. I think it's literally impossible unless you're like sipping water. And even then, you're going to have to pee really bad. Unless you're just like, taking like 7 water drops. Yeah, so a drinking game. I saw Little Karibo do it and I was like, pussy mode. Let's go hardcore and really ramp up the drinks. I think he had like 26 drinks in his episode, his Friendship Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged episode. And I wanted to show him up. And he hasn't seen this episode. I don't think he knows who I am. But still, that's why I wanted to make a drinking game. And as soon as I saw this episode with the Diamond Dogs, I knew, well, that's going to be the David Bowie episode. Sometimes you just get ideas as soon as you're watching the episode. And that was one of those times. Wouldn't really say it was the easiest episode. Actually, maybe it was the easiest episode to write for me. I had to look up some of his songs. At the time, I hadn't heard all of his music. It was sadly when he passed away that more of his music came out, because he's one of the few artists that I'm trying to actually get physical copies of his work, rather than... I could just buy them all online or on iTunes, Spotify, whatever. But I think he's earned buying the physical hard copy for me, personally. Now, with the 3 David Bowie voices... So... I guess early David Bowie. Ground control to Major Tom. That was this David Bowie voice, so that's very early Bowie. And then I heard David Bowie. This is more the parody version of what people use for David Bowie. And then I heard this, David Bowie, which I think is more of a natural David Bowie. Very, very the film Labyrinth. Look up... Oh, that's a great film, Labyrinth. Make sure you watch that one. Yeah, so UFP, after the first 10 episodes, it definitely does get better. That wasn't a bad episode. It had some good moments. I think there was like maybe 1 or 2 jokes that weren't David Bowie related that maybe people would have liked. And yeah, if you don't know David Bowie, you're probably not going to like the episode. It's purely for fans of David Bowie. If the Diamond Dogs ever do come back, I wouldn't do another drinking game because I've already done that, but I don't know what I'd really do. They definitely still have the same voices, and they haven't come back in, 7 seasons, so I don't think it's going to be an issue anyway. It's sad to see that they didn't come back, though. Yeah. A personal favorite episode of mine because I like David Bowie and I like drinking, and I didn't drink to the David Bowie drinking game because I'm also not an idiot who drinks. I drink very carefully. And you all should too, or not drink at all. It's probably the safer and also cheaper mode. Alcohol is actually quite expensive if you buy a lot of it. But yeah, that was the David. I mean, I know people wanted a director's commentary on that one, but there's not a lot to say apart from it's full of David Bowie. So there it is. There's your story for that episode. Next episode coming up is episode 24, Edgar Allan Poe. I think I'll maybe have more to say about that episode. Maybe I'll go through. Maybe I'll even dissect all the stanzas in that episode or something. I don't know. But that was the David Bowie drinking game we just did. Hope you all enjoyed it. See you next time.